Hi, friends. John Beaudin from Rock History Music with some disturbing news, but sobering at the very least. Christine McVie just did an interview with Rolling Stone magazine where she talked about the last tour that Fleetwood Mac had and how she enjoyed playing with Neil Finn and Mike Campbell of the Heartbreakers from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers in the last tour. They had an awful lot of fun. But she says, but we've kind of broken up now, so I hardly see them. It gets worse. She says, I don't communicate with Stevie Nicks very much, she says. When we were on the last tour, we did a lot. We were always sitting on the plane together. But since the band broke up, I've not been speaking to her at all. So the reviewer, the interviewer says, does this mean that Fleetwood Mac no longer exists? Well, not as we know it, McVie says. I don't know. It's impossible to say. We might get back together, but I just couldn't say for sure. Now, it goes on to say that Mick Fleetwood's been trying to end things with sort of a reunion of the lineup from Rumours, their biggest album, of course, with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks and John McVie and Christine McVie and Mick Fleetwood. So that would be a great way to end things as far as Fleetwood Mac's concerned. She says, to that, she said, I don't feel physically up for it. I'm in quite bad health. I have chronic back problems, which debilitates me. I stand up to play the piano, so I don't know if I could actually physically do it. She basically says it's just too hard for her to do that. It's an arduous task to go out there at a certain age and do a tour. Not everyone's up to it. So, she says, in theory, McVie could sit at the keyboard to make it easier. This is the reviewer, for her to get through a show. But she says that wouldn't work in practice. I couldn't sit at the rig I play. You have to stand up to play the piano, and the Hammond organ is beneath that. So it's a bit difficult to think about sitting down and doing it. Anyway, I wouldn't want to do that. Wow. Now, according to McVie, bassist John McVie is in a similar situation. That's her ex-husband. I don't think John's up for another tour. He's got health issues, so I don't know if he would be up for it either. Let me just look at the date is June 16th. It's today's date. And there's been rumors that, let me just open another window here. There's been rumors about the Rumours reunion and how Mick Fleetwood wanted to get the band back together and what an incarnation of the band that was. It was the last solid, the most successful incarnation of the band. Let me just move this here. Sorry about hitting the microphone. Let me just open up some Fleetwood. I don't have my laptop here, so I'm going to have to read your comments on here. Just give me a second. I will read your comments in a second. Talk about it. Like I said in the title of this video, it's really the end. If this is it, this is the end of an incredible run for a band that had so many different incarnations. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to this. So she says she physically can't do it. She had said in a previous interview last year that John McVie was also kind of retired, but then Mick Fleetwood came back and walked back those rumors a little bit. What Christine had said the last time and then they went out again. So let me just look at their discography. First album was released, of course, with Peter Green, also known as Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac back then, in 1968. And then they had the first album I ever got, I do believe was Bare Trees. I think that's it was released in 72, but Sentimental Lady, Bob Welch's Sentimental Lady was on there. And basically in 70, what was it? Mr. to Me I had, great album. A lot of folks loved Hypnotized by Bob Welch. Amazing song, eh? And of course, he went off and did a solo career, and we lost him a couple of years ago. But the self-titled Fleetwood Mac album, and I think they joined on New Year's Eve, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, was, by itself would have been an iconic album no matter what. But having all the pieces together by 1975, some people call it Fleetwood Mac's White Album, but that by itself was something else. And then, of course, Rumors came out and started battling along with Hotel California as it went back and forth. But 4 big singles: Go Your Own Way, 76, Dreams in 77, same year, Don't Stop, and You Make Lovin' Fun. I mean, one of the greatest. And I always go back and forth, which is better, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, or Hotel California? Let me just get back to some of her. For someone who's just joined us, let me get back to what she had said. She basically said in the interview she didn't really consider herself a solo artist. She says, I always consider myself part of the band. And I can understand that because she's not been prolific as a solo artist. She's got the new collection that she just released. But she did, I'll reiterate what I said. She said she had a lot of fun with the last tour with Neil Finn and Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the 2 people who replaced Lindsey Buckingham. She says, I don't communicate with them much now since the band broke up. And then the Rolling Stone person says, what? Like the band no longer exists? And she says, I don't communicate with Stevie Nicks. We flew together. We were always sitting side by side. So in the last tour, we were together an awful lot. But I haven't been speaking to her. And the Rolling Stone interviewer says, does this mean Fleetwood Mac no longer exists? She says, well, not as we know it. I don't know. It's impossible to say. We might get back together, but I just couldn't say for sure. And then she goes on to say she has bad health because of her back and couldn't really physically play the piano the way it is. And like I said a while ago, it's known that Mick Fleetwood wants to get the Rumors lineup of Fleetwood Mac back together with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham and John and Christine McVie and Mick Fleetwood. That would be a good way to end it. But it doesn't mean not everything has a bow on it, right? This could be it. And let me look at the ages here of just the band so that hold on a second. I hate to do this on the fly, but I wanted to get this up as fast as possible because I went, what? Lindsey Buckingham is 72 years old. Let me just pull this out so I can read it a little easier. Yeah, that's easy. So he's 72. Stevie Nicks is 74. Christine is a big part of the band. 78. Do you want to be 78 years old and it's not like getting in a Winnebago or a C-Class trailer, little box van trailers and traveling around and, meeting a lot of people. You're going on stage for 2 freaking hours and playing. Do you really want to do that? I don't really wish that on anybody unless they really want to do it. Obviously, she doesn't need the money. So, and John McVie, her former husband, is 76 years old. And Mick Fleetwood, such an unconventional drummer, 74 years old. I wouldn't want to do that at 74 years old or 78 years old. I wouldn't want to be going on tour because, I'm from the school of let our rock stars have their retirement. We went to see Fleetwood Mac. I forget, we were still in Vancouver at the time. We walked up, Shannon and I walked up to the Coliseum, the Pacific Coliseum where the Vancouver Canucks play. And they told us the concert was canceled. We never really got an explanation why. And we had I think 14th row, I forget. Ask me tomorrow, I'll say 10th row. But it was really close to the stage. And that was our big chance to see the classic, not the original, the classic lineup of Fleetwood Mac, but it was not meant to be, so it didn't happen. One more time. Actually, I should get to your comments. Let's get to your comments. Where are we here? I'm so unorganized today. Going on here and talking about... So she says it's not going to happen because physically it's just too much for her, to paraphrase. Okay, here's your comments. Lots of comments. Melody R, always first. Hi from Saskatchewan. Todd Lancaster. The rumors I heard, pun intended, for years were that Mick toured because of money issues more than the desire to tour. It's why a lot of people are still touring. Remember what Steve Porcaro told us of Toto? He said people tour because they want to keep their stuff. And we're going to talk to him in the next month or two. I'm going to get a hold of him. He's always good for an interview. Hector says, how old are they? I already said that. All in their 70s. Richie Leach, without Lindsay, they should retire anyway. Well, the rumor was they were going to try to get Lindsay back in the fold and do that. So, Anthony, YouTube fan, Rock History Music. Well, that's a little depressing. I'd been hoping that the Mac would have released another LP. I guess COVID-19 really put a damper on plans. Time's caught up, sadly. Time is caught up. Well said. Sweet Savage, nice to have you back. Another band saying it's over, then a year later the tour again. You never know. Block You Bear? I don't know how to say that. After over 50 years, and Mick and John and Christine are in their 70s, it's time to end the group. Not everyone has the energy of the Stones or McCartney. It's time for them to give them time, yeah. So, David Armburst said, John, I don't know what you mean by that, but hi, I'm the bearer of bad news. Some people will say, because when I get on here and do a live feed, it means someone's passed away. Well, not necessarily, but sometimes. And I'm here to report about rock and roll. That's my job. That's why I do this. I make a living on YouTube. Not necessarily the greatest living every month, but it pays the bills. So please like our video, not because you like the news, but because you appreciate hearing the news, at least being caught up with rock and roll news on our channel. So that's why I always say when people pass away and they go, well, I'm not going to like this video. Someone just died. I'm going, you're not liking the fact that they passed away. It's always liking the actual video, right? And please subscribe to our channel. I'm going to reiterate one more time, then we're going to take off. Do wax figures, Sean Rubin says, like Chuck E. Cheese. I think you mean Chuck E. Cheese, not Chunky Cheese. David Carney, I would hate to see them fall to the Genesis debacle. Yeah. Hell, Lindsay almost died from a heart attack. Yes, thank you. I totally forgot about that. But yeah. Pookie Martinez. Hey, Pookie. Long overdue. Keith H. I first saw them when Bob Welch was still playing guitar. Stevie was singing. Stadium half full. The next year with Lindsay, it was packed. You didn't see them with Bob Welch and Stevie Nicks because they weren't in the band together. I think you're thinking about Christine. Dwayne, hey Dwayne, nice to have you back. Hello everyone. David Carney, Bob Welch, French Kiss, album 77. What a great album that was. Ebony Eyes, yeah. Sentimental Lady. Dwayne, I saw Fleetwood Mac live in Edmonton in 2014. Always nice to have you on here, Wayne, my Edmonton brother from another mother. Pookie, I have a compilation video of the original Fleetwood Mac. Did I just find this? Hold on. Give me a second here. I think I might have found it the other day. What do we got here? The Holiday. I just found these. Home Alone, American Christmas Carol. These are all my Christmas. Didn't I just find? I'm just making a mess. Oh. I thought I just found The Dance. I thought I just found it the other day. Rush, instructional. Peter Frampton. I don't know where I put it. I just had it. I saw it. Where was The Dance? I haven't seen that video in a long time. You know, their live reunion. That was so great. Surf Boy says, what's going on? Well, Christine McVie says that, I'll paraphrase, that she enjoyed the tour with Mike Campbell and let me just get her quote directly. She said she enjoyed the tour with Neil Finn and Mike Campbell of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Those guys were great. We have a great time with them, but we've kind of broke up now, so I hardly even see them. She says she doesn't communicate with Stevie Nicks very much anymore, though they were very close during the last tour. And then the interviewer says, does she mean to say that Fleetwood Mac no longer exists? Well, not as we know it. I don't know. It's impossible to say. We might get back together, but I just couldn't say for sure. Then she goes on to say she's in bad health and her back is really bad, and that John McVie, her ex-husband, is kind of in the same situation where he's kind of retired now. He's kind of done, and that he's not up for another tour as well. Last time this happened, Mick Fleetwood came back forward and said, "Oh no, wait a minute," and it was Christine again. It might happen because Mick Fleetwood wants to get the classic lineup of Rumors with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, John and Christine McVie and Mick Fleetwood back together for one last kick at the can, which would be great. As I mentioned a while ago, not everything has a neat bow on it, and it doesn't always work out that way. And they're not young, and they probably want to have a retirement. I would not wish, I mean, everyone's allowed to do what they want. I would not wish for one of my artists that I love to die on stage or die because they're on stage too often. I think they're allowed to have their retirement. So let me go through a few more comments and we'll go. Bob Welch era, Billy Rossi. Will says they have a lot of drama. They always did, but they used it in a good way, right? They created music. Yes, Bob Welch took his own life in 2012. I remember writing a report for it. Captain Robert April. Well, Stevie is an honorary member of Heartbreakers. May start back up, do some tribute shows to Tom. That'd be cool. That's not a bad idea. I don't think she'd do that, though. She's so her own show, right? Pookie says, I have a Bob Welch with Paris sounds. I have a Bob Welch with Paris. Sounds very Led Zeppelin. Dwayne, 78 turning 79 this year. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people are basically saying, they're not young people. There's always that selfishness, and it's not really being selfish. It's just loving the music so much, of wanting our stars to continue and go on forever. I've noticed the vibe, and you probably have too, when someone passes away and they've been out of the limelight even for a year. Everyone goes, what? They're dead? It's almost like they're not allowed to be dead. Well, how dare they be dead? They're like stars. They're bigger than the world. They're literally higher than us on stage. They're on the radio. They're our heroes. They influenced us. They changed the direction of our lives. But they all die. Overstating the obvious? I know I am. But they do. And I would like those 5 people to basically have a good retirement. I'm trying to chase down Lindsey Buckingham right now. He's of anyone in that band that I would want to talk to, it would be Lindsey. So a few folks gave me his management information, and I will track that down. Before we leave, we had to have a Pete Agnew interview that's up and running right now. We have Fee Waybill coming up today. We should have Joseph Williams of Toto coming up tomorrow. And remember, when we put part 1 of the interview up, because we cut it up in chunks, the same day, we also put the entire interview on our sister station, because there's always people saying, why do you have like 8-minute little chunks of an interview? Why don't you give us all at the same time? We will do that now. We do that now. There's also a podcast of it. Look up Rock History Music, the podcast, and you'll get it. Thank you for everyone who always gives us super chats. We appreciate that. In the links of most of our videos, there's also a PayPal link where you can donate money if you want to help us get to 100,000 subscribers. We're almost there. So anyway, looks like Fleetwood Mac might be over. That's the thing. Thanks for everyone who come on here. We got 98 people hanging out with us. Once we get off, you want to put a comment, put it in the comment section, the regular comment section. So take good care, guys. John Beaudin, Rock History Music.